You wake up every day telling yourself today is going to be different, but deep down, you know you're lying to yourself. Why? Because every time it's go time, you freeze. You make a list of things to do. You write it down, organize it, and then what? You sit on it. Procrastination. That's the first sign. You know it's there. You feel it creeping up when you stare at your phone, scrolling, wasting time like you've got a second shot at life. News. Flash. You don't. Every time you procrastinate, you're building a wall between you and your goals. That wall isn't built overnight. It's built brick by brick. Every "I'll do it later," every "I'm not ready yet," every excuse adds another brick to that wall. And before you know it, you're standing in front of this mountain of nothingness, wondering why you're still in the same damn place. You want to win? You want to succeed? Get the hell out of your own way. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. They don't exist. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates results. But sitting on your ass creates nothing. If you're not fighting against procrastination every day, you're choosing to lose. Excuses, man, excuses are the poison that kills your dreams. And you're drinking it every single day. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I don't know where to start. You know what those are? Lies. Lies you tell yourself to feel better about staying comfortable. Comfort is your enemy. Every excuse is a cop-out, and every cop-out keeps you soft. The hard truth is this: no one cares about your excuses. Not your boss, not your family, not the world. All they care about is results. You think life's going to hand you a participation trophy because you had a good excuse? Hell no. Life doesn't care about what you couldn't do. It only cares about what you did do. When you make excuses, you rob yourself of growth. You rob yourself of pain. And pain is the price of greatness. If you're not willing to pay that price, get out of the game. Stop wasting your own damn time pretending you want it when all you're doing is running from the work. Excuses are a choice, and if you're making them, you're choosing to stay stuck. Accountability. Let's talk about that for a second. You avoid it because it's uncomfortable. You don't want to hear the truth. You don't want to be called out. But guess what? That's exactly what you need. You need someone to hold a mirror up to your face and say, "This is you. This is where you're screwing up. This is what needs to change." But instead, you surround yourself with enablers. People who let you slide, people who let you coast. You tell yourself they're supportive. Nah, they're just as weak as you are. Real accountability isn't pretty. It's raw. It's brutal. It's the friend who looks you in the eye and says, "You're better than this," but you're not showing it. And if you don't have someone like that in your life, you better become that person. You have to hold yourself accountable. You have to set standards and stick to them, even when no one's watching. Because at the end of the day, it's you versus you. And if you're letting yourself off the hook, you're losing. You settle. That's the fourth sign. You settle for less than you're capable of because it's easier, because it's safer, because deep down, you don't believe you deserve more. But let me tell you something. Settling is the slowest form of suicide. Every time you settle, you kill a piece of yourself. You kill your potential. You kill your ambition. You kill your future. And for what? A little comfort? A little security? That's not living, that's existing. You were born to do more, to be more. But you'll never get there if you keep accepting good enough. Good enough is the enemy of greatness. It's the enemy of progress. If you're not pushing yourself to your limits every day, you're settling. And settling is a choice. You choose to stay in the job you hate. You choose to stay in the relationship that's holding you back. You choose to settle for mediocrity. So stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending you're okay with less than you deserve. You know you're not. Deep down, it's eating you alive. The only way to fix it is to raise your standards and refuse to settle for anything less. And finally, fear. Fear of failure. That's the last sign. You let fear control you. You let it paralyze you. You let it convince you that trying isn't worth the risk. You're more afraid of failing than you are of regretting that you never even tried. But here's the truth. Failure is the price of entry. You can't succeed without failing. You can't grow without falling flat on your face. The problem isn't failure. The problem is your relationship with failure. You see it as the end when it's really the beginning. Let me tell you something about procrastination. It's not just a bad habit, it's self-betrayal. Every time you push something off, every time you tell yourself later, you're breaking a promise to yourself. You're showing yourself that your word doesn't mean a damn thing. And guess what? Over time, you stop believing in yourself. Procrastination isn't just stealing your time, it's stealing your confidence. Because every time you avoid the hard stuff, you prove to yourself that you can't handle it. But the truth is, you can handle it. You're just choosing not to. You're choosing comfort over commitment. You're choosing ease over effort. And let me tell you, that's not just costing you success. It's costing you your future. So here's the deal. Every time you catch yourself procrastinating, you have to ask, what the hell am I so afraid of? Because procrastination is fear in disguise. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of stepping into the unknown. But guess what? Growth lives in the unknown. If you want to grow, you have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And that means stop waiting and start doing. Right now. Not tomorrow, not later. Right now. And then there's excuses. Let's get real about this. Excuses are the stories you tell yourself to feel okay about being mediocre. You wrap them up in logic and reason, but at the end of the day, they're just lies. And you know what the worst part is? The more you tell yourself these lies, the more you believe them. I don't have time. Bullshit. You've got time for Netflix. You've got time to scroll Instagram. You've got time to gossip about other people's lives while your own life is falling apart. So don't tell me you don't have time. You have time. You're just not using it wisely. I don't know where to start. Let me break this down for you. Start where you are. Stop overthinking it. Stop trying to map out every little detail. Just take the first step, and then the next, and then the next. Action creates clarity. You don't need a perfect plan, you just need to move. I'm too tired. Listen, everyone's tired. Life is exhausting. But you know what's more exhausting? Staying stuck in the same place for years because you let your excuses win. You've got more energy than you think. You just have to tap into it. And the only way to do that is to stop making excuses and start making moves. Let's talk more about accountability. You want to know why most people avoid it? Because it hurts. It forces you to confront your own shortcomings, and that's uncomfortable as hell. But you know what's even more uncomfortable? Living with regret. If you don't have people in your life who push you, who challenge you, who tell you the truth even when it stings, then you're playing small. And if you're avoiding accountability because it makes you feel bad, then you need to grow the hell up. Life isn't about feeling good all the time, it's about getting better. And let me tell you something, accountability isn't just about other people calling you out. It's about you calling yourself out. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I screwed up. I can do better. I will do better. It's about taking ownership of your life. No more blaming, no more complaining, just action. And then there's settling. Man, this one pisses me off because I see it everywhere. People settling for jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, lives that don't even scratch the surface of their potential. And why? Because they're too scared to demand more, too scared to go after what they really want. But let me tell you something, you deserve better. And I'm not talking about deserving in some entitled, handed to you on a silver platter kind of way. I'm talking about earning it. You deserve better because you have the ability to create better. But that only happens when you stop settling. Settling is a habit. And like any habit, it can be broken. But you have to make the choice. You have to decide that good enough isn't good enough for you anymore. You have to commit to raising your standards. And then you have to fight like hell to meet them. Because no one's going to do it for you. It's on you. Always has been. Always will be. Now let's talk about fear. Oh man, fear is the ultimate dream killer. But here's the thing about fear. It's not real. It's a story your brain makes up to keep you safe. But guess what? Safe is boring. Safe is stagnant. Safe is where dreams go to die.